Sometimes when you write code, you're writing code for other people who aren't themselves don't know how to code, users. And oftentimes to make a code useful, the user needs to be able to input things like numbers, like 3 numbers if you're taking the average of 3 numbers, without having to recompile the code or anything. And so that's what this video is about. This video is about the scanf statement, how to input things into the computer program from the terminal so that the user can input it from the terminal. We're going to start, as always, just by going down to search bar, getting CMD to get the command prompt up, double click on that, cd desktop and cd C code to get into your C code. And then we're going to run the batch file, makeproject.bat space average underscore with underscore scanf. So this is average with scanf program. We're going to take the average of 3 numbers, but the input is going to come from the terminal. Okay. You can open up the Finder and find average with scanf.c, double click on that, and it should come up in Notepad++. Then I'm going to get, as a template to start with, I'm going to use average underscore v2c, the last big average program that we did. And so I open that up in Notepad++ while I'm in average underscore v2c. I do Control A, Control C. And then I go into my new C file, average with scanf, and I go Control A, Control V, and I get the old program that we had there. It's got 5 numbers, not 3. I'm going to go back to 3 numbers, right? So you got to change A to have 3 numbers. You change the equations, and the for loop at the bottom to have 3, not 5 numbers, and do all those steps to get that right. And then we're going to actually change the code. Notice I've taken out the thing where I assign a sub 0 to be 3, a sub 1 to be 5, and a sub 2 to be 8, right? I've taken out that part, and I've replaced it with a for loop. So the for loop's going to go 3 times, and there's the scanf statement. Scanf works like printf. The first argument of scanf is, in double quotes, what you're expecting to see. So % characters. %f, you're expecting to see a float. %d, you're expecting to see an integer. %g is something new. %g is a floating point number that can be in either normal notation or exponential notation. %e is exponential notation, but mostly, unless you're dealing with Avogadro's number or something like that, you don't need exponential notation. Some people do. But %g says whatever the user's entering the number as, either regular floating point number or an exponential notation, take that. That's what %g is, kind of a wild card for any floating point number. Comma, then the variable they're entering, a sub I. Except there's a little thing on the beginning, and. To know what the ampersand sign, to know what that does is a super long conversation. We're going to do videos on it, don't worry. But just to know that for scanf statements, including scanning from a file, which we're going to do next, you need an and there. For printf, you don't. That's just the general rule. For now, that's just something to know. Okay, so we're going to scan in 3 numbers, and then it's going to work the same way as the other one. All right, so let's run it. So we compile it, gcc space average underscore with underscore scanf.c space -o space average underscore with underscore scanf. Nothing at the end of that. Enter. Then I run it, and nothing. And oh, at the beginning of this program, before the for loop, I did a prompt. I said, this is a program that's going to average the 3 numbers. It's going to tell the user that something's going on. So you can see that in the, you can see that being run there, but then it's just sitting there waiting. Right now, the computer program is in the middle of that for loop on the first scanf statement. It's waiting for you to enter a number, right? It doesn't, it's just waiting there. So you have to know how the program works. So I have to enter 3, then 5, then 8, and then all of a sudden it works and the answer comes out. But that's kind of kludgy, right? Normally, when you do a scanf statement, you're going to want to prompt the user each time to say, hey, you got to enter a number here. You have to tell the user how the program works. So let's go back into the code, add a printf statement above the scanf statement saying, hey, enter number blank, right? Only I don't want to say 0, 1, and 2 because that's what I is doing. I goes from 0, 1, 2. So enter number 0. I mean, only C programmers would have any clue what that means. Normally you want to say enter number 1, enter number 2, enter number 3, that kind of thing. So I made a new integer. I declared a new integer, int j. And j is just going to be equal to I plus 1 inside the loop. That's all it's for. I'm printing it out in the prompt statement, so enter number 1, enter number 2, enter number 3, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's go back to the command prompt. We recompile it and rerun it, and lo and behold, you can see the prompt. So it prompts you for the first one, you enter 3, it prompts you for the second one, you enter 5, it prompts you for the third one, you enter 8, and it works, no problem. This is what scanf does. To be honest, scanf, working through the terminal and scanf, isn't that common anymore. But scanning from a file, boy, that's common, and that's what we're going to do next. We're going to learn how to actually interact with data from files.